Hello everybody, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook with Great White FX for the 10th to 14th of October 2022. So without taking so much of your time, thank you all for taking your time to watch, and I hope you do enjoy it, and please do like and subscribe to the channel. So without taking so much of your time, let's get down to what we have for this coming week. So looking at the economic calendar, it's going to be a little bit of a dull New York session as we have CAD and dollar bank holidays. The major news we have going into the week is going to be FOMC minutes and core retail sales on Friday. So that out of the week, let's get down to business and see what we have on the chart. So we're going to start with the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame for NASDAQ or US 100 is still tilted to the downside. If we look at the daily, we have this broken level here. We have this broken level here on the daily. And we have this significant low here also. And as you can see, price is finding a bit of support above that level, and also within that level we have this other block. So going down into the 4-hour, this is what we have here. So going into the new week, there exists the possibility that we might see a little bit of a retracement to the upside before a continuation back down to maybe sweep this low. So the bias on the daily, on the weekly and the daily is still bearish, but the 4-hour is pointing to the possibility of a slight bullish run before an upward continuation. As we can see, we have a breaker here. And price has come deep into that area. So if price area holds as support, we might see a move to fill this imbalance here, and then price may continue back to the downside for the NASDAQ. So that out of the way, the next one we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, we're going to start off from the weekly time frame. The dollar index is still bullish. As you can see, it's still bullish. We have this low, a break above here. We have this low that broke this high, and this is what we now have on the day. So for now, this pair is still bullish. Price found support at this structure point here. So the next pair we're going to looking at the daily time frame. We can see price found filled in this inefficiency here, as you can see, and bounced to the upside. So looking at this pair now on the 4-hour time frame, price is in a little bit of a corrective move. We have this high, we have this low, and we have this. So we have what looks like a bearish structure on the 4-hour. So looking at this and looking again, we have this imbalance here. We have this, then I think we have slightly further up here and here. So price is in this area. So there exists the possibility that price may retrace a bit towards either this point or this point. Price may retrace into this point before continuing back to the upside. Because for now, price is still tilted bullish, but the structure on the 4-hour, this is not a place where you want to take a long position. So you best wait for something like this. You wait for price to probably rally or drop, then come into here, then give something like this, then continue back to the upside. So that's what you'll be waiting for on the dollar index to continue to the upside. So starting the week, it may retrace before moving back to the upside. So the next we are going to be looking at is EURUSD. Looking at the Euro USD, we're going to start from the weekly. On the weekly time frame, this pair is still tilted to the downside. Still tilted to the downside. We have a break of this low, then we have this as the daily range for now on the weekly time frame. Then if we move into the daily time frame, we will move into the daily time frame. You can see that price filled up this imbalance here and has dropped. So for now, this pair is still tilted to the downside of the daily. But if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we have this structure point here. We have this structure point here. So it goes something like this to this level. And this is where price is basically sitting above. If you look closely, you find out that there's an imbalance here. So price is sitting at this point. So there exists the possibility that this may correct a bit to probably fill this 4-hour imbalance or hunt liquidity above 99.25 before moving back to the downside. So that's what we have on the dollar, on the Euro USD. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the pound USD. So looking at this pair, let's start from the weekly. If we look at this pair, we'll notice that there is this swing significant low here that price broke. So this pair on the weekly is still tilted to the downside. If you go to the daily, we'll notice that what price did was to retrade into this level here and price got rejected. So this pair on the daily is still tilted to the downside. If we move up to the 4-hour, there exists a possibility that this may retrace a bit to probably fill this imbalance here on the 4-hour or sweep liquidity here before moving into this fair value gap or might even come down lower. What will change the view is if we get a daily close above 1.1411. If we get a daily close above it, then we might see price move higher. But for now, the pair is still tilted to the downside. The next pair we're going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold, we're going to start from the weekly. We can see that price has broken liquidity below all this level and it seems to have bounced from this weekly fair value gap here, this weekly order block here. This is still tilted to the downside. Whenever price breaks a significant level, there's going to always be a retracement into that range. So that's possibly what we're seeing playing out now. So if we go into the daily time frame, see that these levels are still holding. We have imbalance here. These levels are still holding. So what we might be seeing now on price is sitting above this daily fair value gap. Above this daily fair value gap. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the possibility exists that this may rally a bit before moving back down, as this pair is still tilted to the downside. Although we have a new high here, at least a higher high, and this has a kind of a bullish setup. As a bullish setup, we have this swing low, we have this swing high, we have this, and price has broken it to the upside. So there exists a possibility that if this level holds, price may rally up a bit before moving deeper into this range. Price may rally up a bit before moving lower to fill this range, and then before the next line of action might be taken. But for now, price is sitting at a point where you don't want to be taking a short position. So you wait for it to retrace a bit before moving lower. So on the 4-hour, you might see a little bit of a bullish retracement before a move back down to the downside on gold. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is pound, euro pound. This pair is still bullish, although it has this long upper wick. It has broken this significant level here. On the weekly, it is 721. If we go into the daily, that level is at this point. But note this low here of this high energy candle. Price has closed below it. So if we go down to the 4 hour, there exists the possibility that price may try to close this imbalance. Price may rally up towards this area going into the new week, and if it rallies into here and gives a bearish evidence, then we might see a move lower, because we have a high, a low here, we have a high, we have this, and price moved this much. If this bullish move is to continue, this area is supposed to have held price, but you see price has broken below. So this might be a retracement to move back down in the near future. So that's what we have on the euro pound. For now, we might see a bullish move going into the week. Maybe might turn by Wednesday or Thursday. The next pair we're going to be looking at is pound CHF. This pair, looking at it, we have this significant low. Price retraced to it and got rejected. Still, the bias on the daily and the weekly is still tilted to the downside. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the possibility exists that we might see a little bit of a retracement, then a move to fill these daily imbalances. For now, price is sitting above this 4-hour bullish order block, so you will need to wait for it to retrace a bit before moving back to the downside to continue the downtrend. And the last but not the least, for the yen pairs, I think I will use the yen basket so that it gives a general view of what we have for the yen pairs. So looking at the yen pairs, the yen basket, this pair is still bearish. It's still bearish, as you can see. We have this significant low that was broken by price. And we have this as the daily range on the weekly time frame. So if we go into the daily time frame, we have this bearish order block that price has rejected off. So let me mark it up like this. Then we'll go down to the 4-hour time frame. You can see this is where price is currently now. So if price gets rejected from here, there's a possibility it's going to come for this low first and this low. But if price goes above here, we still have this structure point here. So this pair for now is tilted to the downside. So any rally on it might be an opportunity for a seller. So going into the new week, we might still see further weakness in the yen pairs, which will mean bullish move on GBP, pound yen, euro yen, and USD JPY. So with that, I thank everybody for taking their time to attend. I hope you find this helpful. Please do not hesitate to click on the subscribe and like button. It goes a long way in showing your appreciation for the efforts being put into this review. And I wish everybody a beautiful and blessed trading week ahead. Thank you.